from Westchester. I'm now joined by Lawrence Davidson, former lecturer with Westchester University. Good to have you with us, Professor. I mean, what do you call this? Duplicity, double standard, or what? I mean, nukes are nukes, and they kill people, they destroy infrastructure. The U.S. nukes and stockpiles and activity, proliferation, and that of Israel, they're not being monitored, but they insist that, for instance, Iran's must be monitored. And the point is, the funny thing is, the irony is, that the U.S. has used A-bombs. Iran has never done so.
Yeah, I think in fact it is duplicity and double interests. The nuclear weapons that came out of the development in the 1940s created a sort of and the need, shall we say, for some sort of check or some sort of way of balancing of power between those who had them and did not have them. And while mutual destruction is a sort of horrible kind of concept, the concept sort of as applied worked between the Soviet Union and Washington and the United States, at least for a while. But it really requires sanity in terms of who's in charge of these things. And a general acceptance of the fact that that there are no real conditions that can justify even invasion or something like that, that can justify the use of weapons that can destroy the planet, essentially. Unfortunately, as the sanity that resulted, the temporary sanity, I guess, that resulted after the Second World War because of the horrors of the Second World War. The sanity that took a hold of politicians, even in the Soviet Union and Washington, this has eroded. Okay, this awareness of the horrors of total war, that's eroded. And so you get now leaders who haven't got that kind of sense of horror, and therefore ones that can in fact imagine the use of tactical nuclear weapons or some sort of limited exchange of nuclear weapons. And I think that, what we've got in Washington, certainly under Trump, qualifies for that sort of, lack of sanity. And I think that what you've got in Israel also qualifies for that lack of sanity. So you've got potential use of these horrible weapons by people who are not quite self-restrained, who can imagine their use, and nobody's to check them. The UN has in fact failed in that regard, and that creates an enormously tense and dangerous, obviously, and high anxiety kind of situation.
Yep. Okay, thank you very much for your comments, Lawrence Davidson, the former lecturer with Westchester University.